I'm going to generate a custom model, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a video. So we created this function a little while back, which lets you go and take a video of your model and use that video to have it automatically work out your custom model. Actually, no, I'm going to stop here. Let's go and just quickly create a custom model manually, because I can just show you how painful it can be. So here's a custom model. There's absolutely nothing inside it. The old way of creating a custom model, you come here to the model data, it'd come up. Let's imagine, I don't know, let's imagine my custom model is a triangle. I'd have to click in each cell here. I put in the numbers, they always start at 1. And I number the pixels according, I'm building a pixel triangle. And I go through and I do that. It's got 8 pixels. I can change this. This could be 50, right? 50 wide and 50 high. I've just left it as 5 because it's convenient. But you can go in and you can type as many numbers as you need in. It gets very busy very quick. It's, you can end up with hundreds of numbers and you got to click each cell and type the number in. It's extremely painful, but it's doable if that's what you want to do. That's the old way we had to do custom models. Gil did say, well, that doesn't make any sense. How about we make it something that you can do with an auto increment? So you can make this active and click on auto increment. It's going to start on 1, so we'll click on 1, 2. Let's get back to 1. I'm going to slightly draw this differently. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't have to type anything in. I'm just clicking each cell one at a time and it auto numbers it for me. That's a hell of a lot better, a lot faster to do. If you get it wrong, you can still go and edit it. If you want to restart your numbering somewhere else, you can do that. You can just set this number, and when you set this number and the next time you click, that's the number that's going to appear. So that's pretty powerful. When you click OK, here's the model. Those pixels are pretty spread out because I've made it so big. But basically that's my custom model, and you can draw any shape you like. If your model is not made out of pixels, if your model's made out of a single channel, let's say, it's just a dumb thing. I've made it active, I've made it on channel 1, and I just go around and click everywhere where there's a bulb, and it just put lots of number 1s in, and all of those bulbs will light up when that one channel is lit. So this is now a single channel custom model. So I click OK, and then I'd obviously have to come down to my string properties and change this to say that that's actually a single color, because everything's now on a single channel. So that's how you manually used to do custom models. So Gil recently added an improvement about the same time as I was adding some improvements to the automatic generation, where you can go in here and you can select a background image for your custom model. So of course I should have planned ahead for this, but I was busy doing another thing. Images.google.com. I don't know, what's something Christmassy? Santa? I don't know, he'll do. Save images. Do I one? Save. PNG. All right. Okay, so we can click here. We can choose a PNG file, desktop demo 1, there's our Santa Claus, and now let's go back and edit our data. All right, so this is interesting. Now we've got an image that sits behind the thing, behind the grid, and we want to use that image to try and help us do, because we're going to turn this guy into some sort of wireframe or something. So 5's obviously a little bit light on. We need to make it a bit bigger. Let's shrink the grid down a bit. The button here hides and shows him, so we want to make sure we can see him. I'm guessing that's a little bit wide. Maybe we want to go with a 30. That's interesting. Oh, no, it must be the image itself. All right, let's stick it at 50, so it's easier to see. Okay, so there he is. That's interesting. Why is the grid like that? Okay. All right, so let's imagine that we've select that. Oh, let's cut that. Okay, so let's imagine we've taken this Santa Claus and we've turned him into a custom model and we've mounted pixels all the way around him. Obviously, it'd be easier if it was a picture of the thing that we'd already done. Now we can go and use our active numbering again. We choose a start point and we can run around and click on various cells that represent the edge of the Santa. Now that's actually a little bit hard to see, so we can dim down the Santa image so we can still see him, but we can also see our numbers as we put them in. And we can now run around the edge of our model and tag each of the places where we've decided to put a bulb and so forth. Now this is going to be a little bit time consuming. Okay, I screwed that up. I've now got 13 and then I typed 14 and 16. If you do that, just come back here, change that to 14 and then click where 14 was meant to be. And then you can go on and click 15 and so on and recover it. So if you make a mistake, you can always go back and say, no, the next channel I want to touch is this number, and then you can keep going. And so forth all the way around. Remember, channels always start at 1. These have got nothing to do with your overall channel numbers. Your Santa Claus may not start on channel 1 in your overall display. It doesn't matter. Custom models always start at channel 1. And so you run around, and this will take ages, but you can go around and put on all your pixels. When you save it, you can see it down here. Right, you can see there's the beginning of the tops of Santa Claus, and you can sort of squeeze him and stretch him and whatever else to make him look appropriate. So that's one way to build a custom model, but it's pretty time consuming. So let me show you another way. Generate custom model under the tools menu. Now, if you've got a static model, and I'm going to regenerate my policeman. My policeman's a static model. He's not actually mine. It's one that I grabbed off one of the chat boards in the States, I think it was. So having taken a photograph, I'm going to go into the process screen. This thing contains static lights, so I'll select static lights here, and now I have to go and grab my image. And that image is hidden away in a folder where I was doing some testing. Here he is. There's my policeman. Okay, and I want to now turn that into a model. Now there's two ways you can do it here. There's manual. So there's manual. I go into this mode where I get to run around and do pretty much what Gil was doing. It's a little bit different. It doesn't have the grid, so you've got a little bit more freedom of where you do things. You can press Control Z, I think. No, oh yes, you can. Sorry, you can press undo bulb over here and it will undo the last bulb. And I can run around and I can click on each and every bulb. Right, on my way around the model, I have to know what order they're in. This is a static model, so it doesn't actually matter which order they're all in because they're all going to be bulb number 1. And when I finish, I click next, and here is my custom model. I can save it, and when I save it, it'll go to one of these X model files, and I can use that custom model import to import it in. So that's one way to do it. There's a better way, automatic. Automatic just went and did all that work for you. Now, it's not entirely perfect. There's a lot of blur, etc. This is not a great model to do this on. So we can play a little bit with the sensitivity here. That didn't make it better. Okay, that's starting to look a little bit better. That looks pretty good. And so now we go next, and now I've got a full policeman done. And I didn't have to do any clicking on bulbs at all. Now, given this is a static model, it actually really doesn't matter whether we missed a few bulbs or we got too many bulbs, because at the end of the day, every single light here is going to light up or not light up. And so the fact that one bulb's there or one bulb isn't there doesn't really matter. Let's save him. We'll go back to our home folder, demo one. We'll call him P1. And we'll close that window down, and we go to import. We draw where we wanted to bring him in. We select the P1 model, and there he is. Hell of a lot easier than clicking hundreds of times on an image. Does require you to have an image with your particular prop lit up. It does rely on there being a lot of contrast between the bulbs and the background to get that. So that's great for static models, though. What happens, though, when you've got pixels? It would be all well and good for me to map all your pixels, but it's not much good if I don't number them for you. You're still stuck with having to go back and renumber them all. But that's okay. We can deal with that. Under the Generate Custom Model, there's this screen here which lets you go and actually generate a pattern to run on your lights. Now, in order to use this, you have to have defined your controller on the Setup tab. We didn't go into that today. We could do that maybe next week. But you define it. You say exactly how many nodes you've got. So, you know, you might have 150 nodes. Exactly which start channel, and this is the XLights start channel. So if it's your first controller, it's probably 1. If it's your 10th controller, it might be 5101 or something like that. And then you run the capture pattern, and the capture pattern will go through and light up the lights in a very particular order with very particular timing. And you need to have a nice steady video camera without a lot of clutter around it and video that happening. And when you've done that, you come over to process. And this is nodes, so we're going to go with nodes. And here we have to go and choose a video file. Now, fortunately, I've got one of these. I've got 7 actually, but let's just choose one of them. Choose one that works well. Yeah, cheat. So here we got, someone sent me, this is actually a spinner. So he could use his spinner model now, except for that pixel in the middle. I don't have a way to do that in the spinner. So what we do is we click next, and what it's going to do is it's going to run the first 15 seconds of this video. It runs reasonably slowly. Now, it flashes twice. That's normal. What it's trying to do is it's actually trying to find those 2 flashes, because those 2 flashes represent the start frame. And then this is the actual process that it runs through to find the bulbs. So it'll get up to this pixel here. I'll run this a few times. And then it'll stop. And that'll be 15 seconds into the video. It then goes back and says, I'll look through all those frames. That's the start frame. And here it says it looks okay, which means as far as it's concerned, it thinks it's found it. You can do adjustments here, but generally speaking, if it says it looks good, it's good. Now, once again, there's a manual mode. The manual mode will go through the frames one at a time, showing you each bulb lit up, but ask you to click on the bulb that it's found. But let's not do that. Let's do automatic. So here we go in. I know that I need to pump the sensitivity up a little, and given this runs a little bit of time, the video is steady, means that the camera is really steady. It doesn't move around. If you use a video and the video moves around even a little bit, it won't work very well, and you'll need to uncheck this. And even then, it probably won't work very well. You need to have a nice steady video shot if you want to get this to work well. And then click update. And what it does is it runs the video. The red dots is where it thinks it's finding a bulb. And it's doing a pretty good job. All right, it's finding them all, except it's finding a lot of things over here, right? The reflections of the light are reflecting off the computer here. If I'd run it with more sensitivity, it would have also had some reflections down here on the ground. You can do a couple of things now. You can play with the sensitivity if it's not right. but because I've got all this noise over here to the right, there is also, if you look here, there's a dotted green line that goes around the video. You can grab that, slide it in, and what it does is it tells it to ignore everything in this shaded area. You probably can't see it. I'm sure that hasn't come across at full resolution. But this area over here has all been shaded off. All of these pixels are now blue, which means it's now ignoring them. And down here you can see that it thinks there should be 61 nodes. It's found 61 bulbs. That's a good sign. We expect those things to be the same. And so it's looking good, and the model that's going to generate is going to be 26 pixels by 26 pixels. So let's click next, and here's my model. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? And those things are, if you zoom in, they're all individually numbered. It numbered the pixels with the actual numbers that it needs to be. So again, we can save this back in our folder. I don't know, let's call it spin. And then we can close this, and we can import the model. There it is. There's spin, and there's our model. So look, you know, it's a little bit rough, but it's you know, it's obviously not as good as when I draw it using the new spinner, but it's pretty good. It's as good as you would get if you were doing it manually, except you didn't have to do it manually. You just had to take a video, run a pattern, and process it. Some tips, you know, get the room nice and dark. If you want to do a really complicated model, let me show you. So Dennis, all the guys from New Zealand, he sent me one which is incredibly detailed. And so this video was extremely hard to process, but it does work. This is a good one because he's got it nice and black. But what you'll see in a second when the video starts to run is you can see how close together those bulbs are. Each of those bulbs is actually 2 bulbs. And that makes this one an extremely hard one to process. But it apparently did a good job for him. He was really happy with it when he got it back. But this nice black background makes it easier for me to find the center of the bulb. Look, that's probably all I have to go through. Oh, sorry, there is one thing I will go through. Overlaps. See down here, this checkbox that says overlaps enable. If you select that box and then if you click on a model, it will highlight in red any models which have overlapping channels. Generally speaking, this is a bad thing, you know, because you don't generally put 2 elements on exactly the same output channel. And so you go back and fix it. All of these have been imported with a start channel of 1. So not surprisingly, that's going to cause problems. And so I should go through and update these. So that can be an easy way. The problem with it is you actually have to click on each model in order for it to do the check. It's a little bit easier to do it up here. All right, but you can see that it highlights in red any elements that have overlapping channels, and you can go and fix them up. So I think that is all that I planned on going through for this first session. That's the layout tab, pretty exhaustively covered. I don't think I missed anything major. You've got a preview of the spinner that's coming in the next release. You've got a little bit of a preview of what Gil's doing. I expect Gil will post a video. I know he's posted at least an image today on the Facebook forum showing some of what he's done. He sent us a video the other day going through it. That may be on his YouTube page. I think he just posts it up there, and he goes through and shows multiple previews in use. With a custom model, I can't get my singing face to come out right. So you mean you can't get it to look good? You can use the microphone, Jeff, too. It's easier if you talk. You can't get it to look right on the screen? It looks wonky, okay. So a couple of options. Is it a standard one or one you built yourself?
I think it's a Christmas Creations one that he's got.
It's a Christmas Creations one.
Right. Do you know if there are any models posted on any of the forums in the files? A lot of people post Excel files which are the layouts of those things. So if you go to the Nutcracker forum or to the files section on the official XLights page, there are often Excel spreadsheets, which are the custom models for a number of those standard elements that you can buy.
Oh, okay. I'll have a look there then.
Now, the only thing you might need to do is you might need to renumber it depending on whether you followed the instructions on how to wire the bolts in, or to do it your own way.
So yeah, it's going to be all ones and then or twos and on, and on.
So it's a dumb RGB type one, or
yeah.
And so, yeah, but you just use all the ones for one channel, all the twos for the next channel, and so forth. But it sounds to me like your problem is that you're struggling to make it look good. And that's where finding a spreadsheet that someone's already used or someone else. Actually, there's actually a couple of things I should show you. So see this policeman here? Actually, see this thing here, right? The beginning of my Santa Claus. Let's imagine I was incredibly proud of that. And all you guys decided that you wanted to build one of them and you desperately wanted my model. Okay. What you can do is you can right click on any custom model. It won't work on an arch. But you can right click on a custom model and you can export it. And when you do, you come in here and I'm going to call it Santa.x model. And then I can take that Santa.x model and I can send it to another XLights user who can then use this custom import up here to import that in. So I can click on this now, highlight an area, find my Santa. Where's my Santa? Oh, there he is. Double click on him and there he is, he's come in. Okay, so you can share those X model files with other users. So if someone else has got it inside their display and is happy to do an export for you, you can take that file and import it in and it'll be in here and then you can go and edit it. You go here and click on it and edit it and you can go and change it if you need to. Okay. There's a couple other things here. If you're unsure how something is wired, one of the other things you can do is right click on it and show the node layout, which shows exactly what format. So node 1, S1, string 1. Node 1, string 1, node 2, string 2 is how this one is wired. If I change it to right, and I right click on it again, yeah, so now it's node 50. So this is another way to see exactly how the start channels are wired up on a particular element. So that'll be interesting when you do one of my spinners. If you right click on it, the only problem with this is you end up with a table, right? And how do you interpret this against this? And the answer is, well, what actually happens is this node 1 here maps to this pin down here. So it's a little bit hard to use, but you know, it's there as well for you to have a look at. Oz says, I was talking for Damien for Christmas Creations today and he wasn't aware of the new custom, I assume that says model export or something. Yeah, it'd be cool if they offered them actually in that format. It's a lot easier than dealing with the Excel format. It's trivial to import, whereas the Excel format, a lot of them are shared as Excel spreadsheets. So what you can do is you can cut and paste them into the sheet here. So if someone does share you an Excel file which contains your model, you can do it that way. But it's so much easier if someone shares the X model file because it's just trivial. Once it's bought in, you just have to play with the start channel and you're pretty much gold.